Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John, here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Dan, it's a miracle we've made it this far because I fear I could still be in the hibernation caused by what we just watched on Saturday afternoon. Saturday lunchtime even.
Yeah.
Load of old tud.
Well, it wasn't great, was it?
It was not great. We put on an absolute no-show for Sky TV.
I don't think that's... I don't think it's necessarily because of the 12:30 kickoff, but I don't think I don't think it's exactly not because of the 12:30. I think both things are true.
I think Murdoch...
Didn't help. That's what I would say. There you go.
Certainly
it didn't
not.
help.
Murdoch dialed into the changing rooms before and said, "Go out there, lads. Go out there, lads." And where's he from?
Rupert Murdoch. He's Australian.
"G'day, you flaming galahs. Go out there and give me absolutely nothing." And that's what they did. They provided for old Rick. What's his name? Rupert.
Rupert. Also, nothing to do with Sky Sports anymore, Rupert Murdoch.
Oh, and
but, yeah. Still, I like to think he...
Who runs Sky Sports then?
I don't know.
Roy Keane. Gary Neville.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, go out there and give me absolutely nothing. So, it was 0-0.
I was tempted, and I was looking around, and I was sort of... The game was so boring. We were still quite close to the Big Bank camera.
Yeah.
Which you would think was taking up valuable kind of, spectator space.
Girth.
But there's hardly anyone there anyway, so not a problem. And I was thinking I could climb up that scaffolding and put my face right in front of the camera and go and sort of say something right down at here you go, this is what you wanted, innit? And then I just looked around, I was like, oh, there's 3 other cameras they just cut away.
Yeah, and I don't think that camera on the Big Bank is regularly showing much, is it?
Is it not?
Well, presumably not. You don't often have a shot from behind the goal, do you?
Just for replays and stuff,
for
I suppose,
replays.
isn't it?
When you see them fighting in the penalty box. Anyway, what I would say was it was boring to watch, but City did well. Missing McGuinness, of course, away with Northern Ireland. Missing Niskanen, away with Finland.
Yeah.
And bizarrely, missing Doyle, away with England youth.
Under 20s, I think.
Yeah.
I think both of those. I'm not sure about Kamari Doyle, but I think McGuinness and Niskanen played a combined total of about 20 minutes.
They both came on as subs, didn't they, in the first game? I don't know about the second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well worth the travelling. I understand why you would go and play for your country.
Oh, I'm not saying...
I'm not going to go at the players.
No. We tried to get the game postponed late doors.
Yep.
Because I think Doyle was called up.
He was on the reserve list.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. So he got called up late, and then they were like, no, you're not moving it.
Gary was livid.
Gary wanted it moved. We weren't allowed. That's not allowed, but if Sky want to move your kickoff with no notice, then that's fine. But if you want to kind of postpone because all your players are on international duty, that's not fine. I don't really have an opinion.
I mean, I get that it's annoying.
I don't really. I think we can still play without them 3. I mean, it's better if they were there, but
yeah. So we did play without them 3.
I'd be more annoyed if it was really important match, right at the end of the season. I know this doesn't happen, but right at the end of the season, and you really needed to win to stay up or something, or to get in the playoffs or whatever.
So the lineup was a bit of a change, obviously because of them. Sweeney, Kramer, Purrington in the centre, Macmillan and Vinnie Harper back into the team. Francis and Woods, Watts starting a game for the first time that I can remember, Aitchison and Ali.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the...
No, I'm not sure on the formation either.
Formation. It seemed to me more like that it was kind of a couple of pure wing backs in Harper and Watts, but... and then Ali up front, kind of on his own with Aitchison behind, but...
First 5 minutes was an excellent start. Best I've seen a start in ages, I thought.
Really?
Didn't you think? It was all going to Watts. Given that we don't usually start that well...
I think it was okay.
Well, I think I've got low expectations about how we start.
Yeah, okay.
And I thought they started well.
We had a bit of... Yeah, Watts looked...
tricky.
Yeah, he looked like he had a point to prove, you know? And I think he's sort of playing for a contract, I suppose, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
I believe he runs out in January, doesn't he?
Yeah, and so he hasn't kind of featured much through... he seems to be a player that has a lot of little niggly injuries. But, that was an excellent account, given that he's basically come straight back into the team with barely a minute in recent times, and he looked threatening.
Yeah.
I've always thought that he's sort of got a little bit something about him. Watts, like he can kind of make stuff happen, you know.
He's quite direct, isn't he? So he's got a bit of jiggery pokery,
Yeah,
but he doesn't.
He
done. Sometimes it becomes like that becomes the thing, whereas he only ever uses it as the tool to unlock.
Yeah. Also, I think he's like it's effective. You know, that he's good on the ball and doesn't overcook, does he? Do you mean? I think it's like, so good showing from him. He came off late on, and I thought maybe he could have stayed on, but maybe it's just he's not able to do 90 minutes just yet, whatever. But I thought he did well. Then we had a couple of kind of we didn't really make anything of any of those. We didn't really create any chances from any of Watts' good work, but that wasn't any really like his fault necessarily. We didn't create any chances, sort of full stop.
There was one, wasn't there, right at the beginning? I can't remember now. It landed on Ali's head, but someone, maybe Harper, was right behind him and would have had a better. Do you remember this? It was first 3 or 4 minutes.
Don't even remember it.
No,
but
fair enough.
It was, Lincoln.
Yeah, Abraham.
They're a good team. They are good. I mean, they play in a certain way.
Yep, effective, wasn't it?
It's very effective. They're like extremely well organised, and they just. I think it was that's how you play an away game. We've done it plenty, which is just like kind of like let's keep everything tight, and if we get a chance to punish them, we'll try and take it, and that was all it really was, and we couldn't break them down at all, outside of the first kind of like especially in the outside of the first half, especially, but outside of a few kind of chances that Watts kind of had, not even chances, things he did.
There was one.
There wasn't much going on.
No, there was one chance, wasn't there? Second half. Oh, I'm still cross about this. I don't know why. I don't know why it's got to me so much. But Kramer, off he went, didn't he, from the back with the ball.
Well, what you're talking about here is the Ryan Woods red card, right?
No. Before that, he plays it to Harper, and Harper's got absolutely no reason to be offside. But Kramer's covered about 60 feet.
Kramer kind of like goes in this kind of like just a run down the middle, doesn't he? There's no passes on, so he just thinks, I'll just dribble it all the way down the pitch.
And did it beautifully. And it was kind of thing where you only get away with once with a team as well organised as Lincoln.
I thought he was going to Troy Archibald Henville it for a minute.
It had the air of that, didn't it? And then he sees that Harper's free, and it was almost unforgivable. I really like Harper. Good player, but how's he getting himself caught offside there when he can see everything?
I mean, yeah, you really shouldn't be offside there. Again, I guess if you're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's barely played.
Fair enough. I just felt, I guess it irked me. I imagine it irked Kramer because that's going to be one of those very few chances we're going to get in this game.
Yeah,
Kramer did it beautifully, and Harper's just meandered into an offside position. There it is. But yeah, let's talk about the debacle towards the end of the game, shall we? Do you want to get there?
Yeah, well, I think leading up to that, there's a bit of... It's a quite niggly game.
And the refs falling for everything.
Yeah, refs terrible.
I mean, terrible.
And then there's a lot goes on. I think it starts with Sweeney and then number 6.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
By the way, he's good. That guy,
yeah.
He played really well in the second half, especially. He kind of
Sweeney was raging, wasn't he?
Yeah, so it starts off Sweeney and him having a right old kind of to-do. Then Woods kind of takes over the to-do about a few minutes later, gets himself booked. I think it gets himself booked against this guy. Yeah, it does. And then...
Yeah, he only got booked on 66.
Yeah, and then we have a corner. We haven't had many corners in this game compared to the Charlton one the week before. Now, bearing in mind that in the Charlton game was pretty similar in that outside of those corners, we didn't really create anything or a lot, not really from open play. I mean, probably created a little bit more than we did this week, but very little. We have this corner. And bear in mind, you got Ed Francis taking the corner. You got Tristan Kramer up for the corner.
Yep.
In the previous match, the only goal we got and the only proper chance we really had was from a corner with those two people combining to get us the winner. They decide not to play it short, And it's not like I said, it's not like we've had loads of corners and I try something different.
No.
It's had to play it short.
This is on 90 minutes.
It's on, yeah. Is it 90 minutes? It's very, yeah.
89, 90.
I mean, it comes all the way. We play it short, comes out to the area, we go back and back and back, and then Woods ends up again somehow just getting a second yellow card, and then he's gone. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well done. Like rather than just like having a go at the one thing in 2 full matches of football that has worked. Nah. Let's get kind of a really important player suspended for the match against, one of the kind of like better performing teams in the league this weekend, Wrexham. If not 2 games, because I'm not 100% sure how many he misses, because he was already going to miss one for the accumulation of the yellow cards.
Yeah.
So he may well now be out for Wrexham and Birmingham because of that.
Yeah.
And I'd think like that is, I mean, again, for Caldwell, it must be frustrating, unless he's told him to do it, in which case it's frustrating for me.
Yeah, it was almost insane.
It reminded me of that one a couple of seasons ago, or last season, where it was last minute and they ended up...
Yeah. Out it goes.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know. Anyway.
There it is. My favourite moment of the game was David Perkins, our favourite assistant manager.
Well, I mean, a bit of entertainment, at least,
He was stood as he is in the technical area just behind Caldwell, and he gets run into in the style of a man who's got a tray of drinks and someone opens the door on him. That's what it looked like to me.
Right.
Did you see this close up? He kind of looked like he didn't see it coming, and then kind of it hits him, and he's raging.
But he ends up with the ball.
Yeah, I don't really know what's happened. I think he's got the ball, and then the guy runs into him, but he didn't see it coming.
Right.
And there's a right old...
well, in his kind of,
ding-dong.
I suppose, after the shock of getting run into, he doesn't then just want to hand over the ball straight to the Lincoln player.
No, he does not.
But he really kind of just puts it behind his back, like you're not having it kind of thing, and gets himself sent off. Then off he goes down the touchline.
I don't think I've seen an assistant manager at City get sent off before.
Have we not?
Did Nicholson get sent off when he was Matt Taylor's assistant?
I don't know, maybe. Mel Gwinnett, did he get sent off?
I don't remember that he did. Anyway,
I don't remember a huge amount of assistant managers. Can you remember any of Tisdale's number 2s?
Well, I think Matey went to Accrington and then got cancelled. John...
oh, of course, yeah.
What's his name?
What is his name?
Anyway, anyway, I
talk about him all the time. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, love to see it.
All right.
Anyway, I love to see that Perks. I think...
yeah.
Man made in Caldwell's own image.
So he won't be there on the touchline for the next match either.
Yeah,
and then someone was saying maybe Gary got accumulated yellow cards. But does that count for managers?
I don't know.
Because if both of them aren't there, then it's just Nicholson, is it, on his own?
Yeah, who is it?
Hawker will have to be in there.
Kevin Miller. No, Taggy would be delighted, won't he? You know, in
Taggy and Hawker in the technical area.
You know, in Star Wars, when the Ewoks think that C-3PO is some sort of god and they carry him down on his chair.
Yeah.
That's how Taggy will approach the technical area.
Who's carrying him?
The squad.
The mascots.
No. It'll have to be like junior members of the squad. Sonny Cox.
Oh yeah. Harry Lee.
Yeah, your man Pat Jones.
Yeah, he can't be carrying a big, heavy-set man onto the pitch.
No, they'll work out a system. Be like how they move Stonehenge.
Yeah. What about the Grecianettes? What are they up to these days?
Who the hell are the Grecianettes?
Remember we used to have like the majorettes before the match and that?
Oh, were they called the Grecianettes?
I think so.
Were they?
Yeah.
We making them carry Julian Tagdown.
We're always talking about... Are we always talking about majorettes on this podcast?
We have mentioned them, I think.
Right. I was in a charity shop the other day and I saw like sort of several sort of bits of majorette kind of uniform.
Oh, is that why you're dressed like you are today?
No, I was wearing this anyway.
Right.
But a couple of hats, a couple of those fancy hats. You see them up close. Those things are fancy.
Are they?
It's like a kind of helmet with a peak,
yeah,
but then very, like sparkly.
Did you get it?
No, I should have done.
How much?
Didn't even look. There's a couple of them.
Which charity shop?
One of the ones on North Street.
On North Street?
Yeah. No, South Street.
South Street, oh yeah,
South
okay.
Street.
Okay.
One of the ones down there. If
near my office, I'm going to have a look.
Pop in. See, I mean, not just you. If you don't get them, so maybe someone else might want them.
Run in there now. Podcast's over.
Yeah.
I mean, you would be impressed if just one night I came out to meet you for a drink and I was wearing that,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Carrying Taggy on your shoulders.
Twirling a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to see that?
No one.
No. Anyway, that's who's going to be in the technical area.
Yeah. So, back to the match, really.
Sorry, yeah.
There you go. I mean,
We've covered it.
It was
15
crap.
minutes. It was crap. It wasn't
But
I think
crap,
City...
crap, I mean, the usual, the people who do the singing on the Big Bank gave it a good go.
Yep.
And no, it wasn't through lack of effort from their part.
No.
But the atmosphere just wasn't there.
Well, we were missing... What was the attendance? I don't even know.
It's 5,800.
So we're missing
9.
1,500 people, basically.
Yeah, at least 1,000 people, yeah.
So, yeah, it's no wonder, is it? And it's lunchtime and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Cheers. The best effort of the singing section of was the chant of "Dodgy stick, my lord, dodgy stick."
Yeah,
Which I thought was a touch.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? I do approve of that.
It's really good.
But I just want to say this. I think the team played well. I think 0-0 against Lincoln City, perfectly good result.
Well, given how well organised they were,
Another clean sheet.
Well, another clean sheet. But what we've got at the moment really is a team. We've got 9 clean sheets in 14.
Yeah, Whitworth made an excellent save. We haven't mentioned that.
He did make one very good save.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Defensive wise, and that is that's always what they say. You start with the good defence. Now, I think it's kind of to do that system where you're prioritising kind of defence and all that, and you need to have to get any kind of to have any real attacking threat alongside that kind of which is quite defensive minded team. You need to have this you really need to have exceptional talent going forward, and I don't think that we necessarily haven't got that, but we do need. But most of the players that you think of kind of that weren't there on Saturday, and we haven't really had all of them one go. I think Reece Cole, right? Yeah. Not having, he's been injured a lot.
Yeah.
But he was our top goal scorer last season.
Yeah.
And he's barely played this year.
Yeah.
McGinn obviously and Niskanen are 2 people that do most of their work up there or whatever and try and make things happen. They're not there. Mitchell's obviously been out for ages. He's another person that can make things happen. Doyle also wasn't there.
Yeah.
So really, given that, you kind of, you're pretty depleted. People like Jack Aitchison is an incredibly hard worker, but we've seen since he's been here that he isn't going to score a load of goals. He isn't going to get a load of assists.
No. He isn't really even causing goals.
No, he's doing other things really
doing
well.
Other things, yeah.
And you can, and that seems to be the priority. You know, and so we're not going to. You have to be. I just think you just have to be a very good team to have both those things.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting discussion which I was lurking on fan forum X-Web.
Yeah.
Which was around the topic of. I mean, it ended up kind of as they usually do, turning into a bit of a kind of like Barney, but it was about the XG.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, we're basically overperforming in our XG against us, down to the fact that obviously Whitworth's making
really good saves,
a lot of very good saves. Although we should be conceding a lot more goals than we are, basically, and the fact that we're not is great. And you do have to you have to think, well, yeah, we have got a very good goalkeeper, so that's not necessarily kind of completely artificial. But the way those kind of statistical models work is that over a long period of time, they will be true. Given a big enough sample size, they will be pretty much true. Okay. I mean, but in isolation, you can kind of like buck the trends. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting if you're interested in that. But we're obviously, so that's what's happening. We've got some very good defenders. We've having quite a lot of luck. Yeah, and we've got a very good goalkeeper who's keeping us in games. But if we don't start scoring some goals, it could turn for us. Yeah.
Now it's 6 weeks, give or take, till the transfer window opens. McGuinness was a good purchase. Ali and Bird are works in progress. Sonny
Yeah.
Cox is a work in progress. Are we going to stump up some cash and get ourselves someone who's going to get us 10 goals before the end of the season?
For a striker.
For a striker.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see. Because...
I mean, if Mitchell comes back into form with his levels of fitness...
Well, he'll have to be given the chance to.
Yes.
Which means not signing someone else to play in his position.
Yeah, so not in his position, that's right.
So, and then if you're going through the middle, you've already got 4 players who play there. Now, McGuinness, we know, is he's playing more than maybe we expected him to. Caldwell says he's no spring chicken. You don't want to have only him as your kind of main thing. But the problem is now behind him we have 3 project players, like you said, Ali, Jay Bird, and Sonny Cox, who all play in the same position. I know we've seen Ali out wide a bit, but we've also most of his work seems to be, and last season most of his good work was done through the middle.
Yeah.
And we saw the best of him.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I wouldn't be. I mean, it sort of goals wise, it feels like we need another striker, but I don't know where they fit in.
No.
Who loses out there? At least one of those players would have to kind of leave or get injured long term, or
Yeah.
So probably not.
I suppose what one solution could be Jay Bird goes on loan, given that he's the most project of the project players.
Well, yeah, but I'd argue probably that Cox is the one that looks like he needs the loan more.
Probably true. How does that impact him as a person? As a professional who feels like he was almost on the edge of breaking in, and then he goes. It's hard, isn't it? It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing to say, Dan, is that there's been a signing already, of course.
Oh, yeah. Wow, we could have really missed this one, couldn't we?
Well, he's one of our favourites when he was here 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Big Kevin McDonald.
Yeah, he's
the big
back.
man.
He's back.
Mainly, it seems, to coach Jake Richards.
Yeah. Is this a ploy to try and get Jake Richards to sign this contract?
I don't know.
Looks
I mean,
incredibly
they mentioned
unlikely.
That's not me assuming. That's been
seems
said.
to be the main thrust of the announcement, wasn't it? So Kevin McDonald,
he went to Bradford,
former Premier League midfielder, scored a great goal for us last season. Was it last season? No, season before.
Season before.
Where he kind of like smashed it in with his left foot from outside the box, and then just stood there a bit like Cantona when he scored the chip.
Yeah.
Then left and went to we offered him a contract, but he sort of said no thank you and went to Bradford.
Yeah.
I think he was sort of ended up being kind of player coach there or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's end of last season. He's obviously left there.
Apparently he's been training with us for a while.
He has been training with us for a good few months, and now he's back in.
Yeah.
Well, now that Woods is suspended.
Yeah. But
and Cole probably still injured. Is he going to have to play straight away?
I mean, you're not going to get an hour and a half
against
out of him, are you? Oh, blimey. Who knows? Anyway, that's big news in a way. It's news.
It's news. It's a signing, isn't it? So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to catch up on what's coming next in a minute. Oh, yeah, all right. Here we are at the Big Bank. Dan's about to try a pizza twist. What's your first impression?
Doesn't look good.
Oh, good. Remember when I said it like a squashed wang? I was right. Hot, it looks hot.
Not that hot. Very dry.
More later. Welcome back to the Big Bank Theory podcast. That was a live review. You've had 2 days now to digest it. Any further thoughts on the pizza twist?
Well, I think you need a couple more days to digest it, if I'm honest.
He's still, what's that called when you kind of thump your chest? Getting it down.
Yeah, is that called acid reflux?
How was it?
Well, I thought we had to do it because we've been banging on about it for enough time.
Yeah.
We've been taking the piss, haven't we?
Yeah.
Generally, about the and then so I had to make one happen. Well, it was a culinary delight. You know,
Is that true?
for those of you perhaps with an unsophisticated palate,
Yeah.
you might not be picking up on the the complex flavour profile of the pizza twist. But for someone like me,
Yes.
let me tell you, it was it was it's got everything. You know, there was you could taste. There's blackberry, you know. There's black pepper, and just a whisper of nutmeg.
Was there
in the aftertaste? Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you'd highly recommend?
No, they taste like shit. Obviously. Here's the real review. One, nothing about it is twisted.
Okay.
It's just some folded. I think it's pastry.
Okay.
Not 100% sure.
Okay.
I suppose there's probably some cheese in there, but
Okay.
I didn't know anything about it if there was. Basically, it's just some
Rumours of
tomato puree
Yes.
folded into some incredibly dry pastry.
Yeah.
With some, I guess, freeze-dried herbs in there.
Mm.
And it was not even particularly hot.
Okay.
When I ordered it,
Yeah.
and I said I couldn't even bring myself to say pizza twist because I'm,
Yeah.
I said, can I have one of those margarita pizza things?
Yeah.
And the guy who served me at the outside beer stand
Got it there.
said, yeah, as if no one else had ordered one all day, and they really had to get rid of a load.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you go.
And my prediction is, if they're still selling them by the end of the season,
Yes.
they won't be selling them at the beginning of next season.
Got ya.
Because
Okay.
I didn't see anyone else even with one.
No.
And when you buy a new car and you think and then you suddenly start seeing loads of the same car everywhere
Yeah.
because you're noticing it. I was thinking, I've got a piece of twist now, and I'm looking around. And I didn't see a single other one.
No.
Maybe the pepperoni one is better. Don't know. Maybe someone carnivorous nature can let us know. Maybe that adds the final
Okay.
thing. But they're truly, truly shit. You thought the pasties were bad.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm sure, again, probably the kind of like the normal pasties are good. The vegan ones are gross. But they're nothing compared to this, which I would say is eating one of them is a bad idea. And here's the real kicker.
Yeah.
It cost £4.
Did it?
£4.
You can get a full Domino's for £4. They're always advertising it.
Can you?
It's like a small Domino's, yeah.
Where?
Domino's.
Oh, right, not a football.
No. What I mean is that's a lot of money.
£4.
Yeah.
And it's probably like 1.5 inches across.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that? The diameter? No, that's the round, isn't it?
That's
No,
round.
that's the
It's
circumference.
the width. What we've done there is the width.
Right. And
The girth. We'll say it again.
Lengthways,
Yeah.
I'd say it's, probably 10 inches.
Okay. Right. Good to
if
know.
that. Maybe not. But, what's this? Don't get one. Don't eat them. Don't get that.
So this is I think this is the peak of our investigative
Are we going to
journalism.
get in trouble for this?
No, I think you've legitimately reviewed it and didn't
Okay.
like it.
Right.
So, okay.
I
Thank
think
you very
the
much.
pizza twists are fascists.
I went to... Because it's the stupid time of game
Not
again.
the people selling them, just want to make that crystal clear. Just the actual thing itself.
Look, I don't want to have to re-edit anything again. I
thought they only listened to the David Earl one.
I cycled up from home, left home at like 12 o'clock, and thought to myself, it's lunchtime. I'm vegan, I don't eat pizza twist. I don't want to have one of those pasties again.
Honestly, I don't think there's any cheese in it. I think
Fair
you're
enough.
good.
Okay, all right. Anyway, in my mind, I thought I'll get chips. So Sybil Fish and Chips closed too early.
Yeah.
Other chip shop on Old Tiverton Road closed too early.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, I didn't think about it, did I? I thought it was lunch. It's a whole another problem with this stupid kick-off time. So then I get into the ground, great big queue for the chips.
Normally you could get chips there.
Yeah, but
even
it's closed for the...
Even that van wasn't there.
Because of the new roof being built.
New roof, yeah.
So then
Which is there. Although it doesn't actually have the roof bit on it.
No, but the frame's there, isn't it? So then I go to the kiosk at the Tiverton Road end of Big Bank. Massive queue. So then I walk down to the jungle path and I get myself the chunky vegetable pasty. And honestly, it was smaller than my ear.
It was very small.
I held it up to my ear tonight to show you. And it was, just as dry. So I realise it's not Exeter City's fault that there's 12:30 kick-off. And I realise we've gone on about this way too much. But why is the food so bad? That's all I'm saying. Why is the food so bad? Help us out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't think. We've given loads of stupid answers as if we're joking.
Well, it's not just it's not just the food that's on offer. It's also the purchasing of the food because it's quite difficult to. Although saying that, I didn't have to queue up very long to get that pizza.
Well, there was no queue at the jungle path. I waited for.
Well, there's a lot less people there than there normally is as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's just talk about the roof quickly on that big thing.
Oh,
is that going to be a see-through? So they put in like plexiglass on it or something, or like see-through. Because otherwise, it's vast.
Yeah. I guess it's going to be see-through, isn't it?
It covers like almost the whole of that area.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah. But if that's a kind of like closed-in dark roof.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit gloomy.
Yeah, I think it'll be
see-through, won't it?
It'll be see-through.
Hence why it's built the way it is.
Yeah. I hope they've got a plan for cleaning it, because otherwise that's going to start getting...
Yeah.
These aren't important issues.
When someone hurls their pizza twist up there.
Well, honestly, the football... I mean, you can probably tell by all this that we're talking about this, because the football was really kind of not that entertaining.
Yeah, there we are. Okay, well, remember, we're kind of drawing a line under pizza twist. You've heard from the horse's mouth.
That is it now.
But if you got any hot takes on it, let us know.
Unless you've got something really interesting to say.
Yeah, like you've seen how it's been made, and there is no cheese, or... Yeah.
Don't give them ideas. If someone's got something genuine and interesting to say about it, they can email it.
All right, fine. bigbankpod@gmail.com if you've got the fact.
Or just about anything else. It doesn't have to be about them.
No, it can be about anything, please.
Except don't complain about anything.
It's 2 games coming up this week. Big games. Exciting games. We're away Saturday to Wrexham at the racecourse ground. Haven't been there in years. Sold out. We're taking full allowance. Obviously, it's the big story at the minute with their Hollywood ownership.
Do all these? Is this documentary stuff still going on? Is it all being filmed by Netflix at all points?
Disney Plus, but yeah, I guess so.
Is Ben Foster still blogging the matches from
I don't
inside
know.
the goal?
I didn't know he did that.
Well, I think he might have retired. But
Okay.
He was doing that for a bit. Yeah.
Obviously, they've got crazy kind of overpaid stars in the team. So their manager's Phil Parkinson, who's been around for a really long time, and actually been with them a long time, brought them up.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, who are the owners, and they seem to be at lots of the games. I don't know if they actually are, but that's what the documentary seems to show.
But they won't be at this one, will they?
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. The main stars of the team, I mean, they're all generally players we've seen before, but they got Paul Mullin.
They lost at the weekend to Stockport.
Yeah, and they drew with Charlton and they've drawn with Huddersfield in recent weeks. They lost to Harrogate in the Cup as well, so they're not unstoppable. And I looked at the squad, and obviously I don't know the names of the younger ones, but it's quite an old squad. They've gone out for people that Parkinson knows and trusts. So it's Paul Mullin, who's now 30, because he was Cambridge, wasn't it, his season 3 or 4 years ago, he was unstoppable. They've got James McLean, formerly of West Brom, and then where else was he? I can't remember now. Obviously, infamous Northern Irishman who gets a lot of grief for having his own opinion about poppies outrageously and standing up for his countrymen.
John, we can't go down this road.
I'm going down it. I think he's legit, and I was cross when people booed him when he played for West Brom, and I'll be cross when they boo him for City on Saturday.
Well, I agree, but...
Anyway, there we are. And then they've also got Stephen Fletcher, who's the oldest of all of them. When he was at Sunderland, wasn't he? He's now 37.
Is he there, is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's still going.
Yeah. So I don't think it's this...
Burnley, wasn't he, for a bit as well?
Yeah.
I
think, actually, those 3 aren't necessarily a test for our excellent defence.
Maybe not.
Oh, not the test that maybe
I've
the
just
Tuesday
seen
night
a
game
little
will be.
headline about them saying the headline saying 3 Championship strikers Wrexham should look to sign this January transfer window, which says it all, really, doesn't it?
Now, whether they can or not, I don't know, because actually Birmingham are the ones that have really gone and done that, but more on them in a second. So that's Wrexham Saturday. They're in third. They've played 15. They've got 28 points. So bearing in mind that we're in ninth, played 14 and got 23 points, actually, so far in the wash, we're not that far off them.
No.
But it's a big thing, isn't it? Maybe our players will be well up for it. I hope it's not a kind of Huddersfield nightmare again where we're a bit overawed.
Hopefully not. No, and we'll have, like I said, we'll be missing Ryan Woods and at very least
Perks.
But Niskanen and McGuinness will be back.
Is Perks going to have to sit next to Ryan Reynolds in the stand? Let's hope so.
Yeah, I see no reason why he would have to do
When
that.
two international superstars combine, Perks and Reynolds. The next film, Deadpool versus Perks.
Yeah, well, you never know. It could, spark him getting sent off could spark a chain of events that ends up with David Perkins becoming a Hollywood film star.
Yep.
He could be in, the options are endless. Any Ryan Reynolds project, he might be in.
He's rumoured to be the next Indiana Jones, I've heard.
Ryan Reynolds?
No, Perks.
Oh, right, okay. Or, he could end up in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Probably a role, they could probably find a role for him a bit easier for that. But
Imagine if Blake Lively leaves Ryan Reynolds for Perks.
I don't know who that is.
That's his good-looking wife. Anyway, that's Saturday. Then followed up by Tuesday. It shouldn't have been this Tuesday, but it's landed on a fairly unfortunate Tuesday. It's Birmingham City at St James Park.
The return of our beloved son.
I was looking at their squad. This is actually a serious squad. So it's Birmingham City.
Well, our one of our standout players from last season, Luke Harris, who helped us to our second ever highest finish.
Yeah.
Can't even really get in the team there.
No.
Yeah.
So he's on loan from Fulham again, isn't he, to them? They've also got Lyndon Dykes, the Scottish striker.
Yeah.
They've also got Bailey Peacock Farrell in goal, who was at Leeds in the Premier League, wasn't he?
Yeah, they've got a stacked squad.
It's ridiculous. I didn't even know who their manager was. I had to look him up. So he was Ange's coach, wasn't he, at Tottenham?
Right, okay. Jay Stansfield is such a subtext / narrative player.
Yeah.
That if you feel like there's a kind of like, a narrative kind of story kind of reason for him to make the headlines, he will. Which leads me, well, he's obviously just going to score in front of the big bank, isn't he? I mean, it's almost like, why are you even bothering to say it? Of course he is.
That's the obvious feeling, isn't it? I'll clap him when he comes out or at the end of the game, but if anyone claps him when he scores against us...
Yeah, I don't want to hear any Stano chants. I mean, unless you're talking about his dad.
I think you could do the chant.
Oh, well, we can do the one about his dad.
About his dad, yeah. Not any others. No, obviously not. No, not for him. Much as I like the lad.
I'm happy to, again, like you said, clap him on and clap him at the end of the game with as much enthusiasm as you see fit. But while he's playing...
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, thank you very much.
If they want to belt out the song about his dad even louder, then I'm fine with that too.
Same.
He's going to score in front of the big bank. Maybe he'll score a hat trick in front of the big bank, like he did just before he left.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is.
So
get this one out the way. That's how I'm seeing the Birmingham match.
Yeah.
And only because of him, just get out of the way. I know like I said, they got a really good team. They'd probably batter us anyway. But, we have got very, very good defence. So you never know.
You never know. We go and get something at Wrexham and you'll feel like anything at Birmingham is a bonus.
Yeah, like you said, before, these aren't games where you're not earmarking these for many points at the start of the season, are you, these two matches? So
no.
It's
unfortunate they're coming together.
Anything is good.
So they're currently in second. They've only played 13 and they've got 30 points. I mean, they're obviously absolute dead sets for promotion, aren't they?
I mean, it's a
Dead cert.
disaster if they don't get promoted.
Yeah, spending all that money.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. But nice to have two interesting games. Really nice to get that Birmingham one on the Tuesday night. I know it would have been good on the Saturday, but that's a fun evening game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll be back after that to presumably commiserate, but maybe delight in Perks' future career.
Or 6 points. You never know.
Never know with Gary Caldwell. Hey, our milkman at home is called Gary Coulter, right? And the other day I had to leave the house earlier than normal and open the door. It's never happened before. I've never even seen him. He's the milkman that ran the London Marathon as a milkman carrying milk bottles. So I've seen him on that, but I've never seen him face to face on our doorstep.
Okay.
I opened the door. He's there. I went, oh, hi. And he said, hi. That's the end of that. I said to my wife, oh, saw the milkman for the first time ever. This is the kind of interesting chat we have. I saw the milkman for the first time ever this
Going
morning.
well at home.
Yeah, right. Saw the milkman for the first time ever today. And she said, what, Gary Caldwell? And that's the end of my story.
Yeah.
But actually, he looks quite a lot like Perks.
Oh, does he?
Genuinely, yeah.
Watch
yeah.
Small and Ginger.
Yeah.
And
Wearing
nothing behind the eyes.
Wearing a full Monty style hat. I'm ignoring you. Yeah, so there you go. That's the end of my story. It's not a good story. I don't know why I've shared it. But
There you go.
yeah. Sorry about that.
Imagine if Gary Caldwell did just turn up on your door, just rang your doorbell, and then you weren't expecting anyone, or maybe you were expecting someone else.
I'd be
You open the door,
slightly
and there he is.
concerned for my life. I thought we've made a jab at him on
I
the...
definitely think we've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary's come to tell me off.
But really, it's kind of like a kind of surprise kind of thing, and he's turning up there to, give you a big check and tell you you're allowed to be in the hospitality for a match.
Yeah. Oh, I've won the 50-50 and not claimed it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the first time I saw Caldwell in the flesh was the week of the Giovanni Brown crisis.
Right.
Remember that?
Yep.
And when he arrived, he had quite luxurious hair, didn't he, Gary? And
He's got a good head of hair.
He's got a good head of hair. And on this day, it just happened, the Giovanni stuff. And then I saw him on the Cathedral Green, and he'd obviously decided to shave it all off. And he's bigger than you expect. And I almost bumped into him, and he was having a quite full-blooded phone conversation, I'm assuming, about the situation. And I was filled with terror in my heart. So if he turned up on my doorstep with his head shaven, I'd think, flipping heck, done for.
Oh, yeah, there's absolutely no question that he could absolutely batter you. Yeah.
And he would.
Yeah.
And he would.
Given any reason to.
Yeah.
He just definitely doesn't seem like an aggressive man.
No.
Far from it. But
if he had to.
If he had to, yeah.
He'd rip your heart out of your chest.
Yeah.
And eat it.
Yeah.
And then smear the blood over his face. I should stop saying this, because he will come and tell me off for calling him aggressive.
Yeah, you're manifesting it.
I am.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe Gary Caldwell's threatened you on your doorstep. Get in touch, bigbankpod@gmail.com. If not, we'll see you next week after Birmingham City.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to have to play them all the time because it was the Flyby Derby? They'd bring down all the Flyby teams.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I don't think we've seen them in a long time.
No, it must be years now.
Yeah, be nice to reacquaint ourselves with all our Flyby chums.
It may be nice.
Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.